By the end of this video, you'll understand why the refrigerator did not just keep food cold. It changed how you think about time, distance, leftovers, shopping, and risk. Before the 19th century, most households did not preserve food by keeping it fresh. They preserved it by changing it, drying it, salting it, smoking it, fermenting it, or cooking it before time could ruin it. Food was not something you casually stored. Food was something you defended. For most families, meals began with a clock already running. Milk soured, meat smelled, fish spoiled fast, butter softened. Cooked food turned dangerous before anyone could forget about it. You did not buy a week of groceries and trust a machine in the corner. You bought smaller amounts, returned to markets often, and planned meals around what would fail first. In cities, this shaped the whole day. Fresh food arrived by cart, boat, rail, or walking feet, and if the delivery was late, the menu changed. The kitchen was not just a place to cook. It was a place to judge smell, texture, weather, season, and danger. People before refrigerators were not careless. They used serious survival systems built from salt, smoke, sugar, vinegar, alcohol, cold air, cellars, springs, and ice. Salt pulled moisture from meat and fish. Smoke slowed decay. Fermentation turned cabbage, milk, grain, and fruit into foods that lasted longer and often became safer. Root cellars kept vegetables in dark, cool earth. Spring houses used flowing cold water. In colder regions, winter ice was cut from ponds and lakes, packed in sawdust and stored for summer. These methods worked, but they changed the food. Freshness was rare. Preservation had a taste, and the taste of survival was often salt, sourness, smoke, or dryness. The old system had hard edges. Season decided what you could eat. Distance decided what could reach you. Weather could destroy a supply before anyone saw the problem coming. Class mattered too. Wealthier households could buy ice, hire servants, and keep larger stores. Poorer families had less margin, so spoilage was not only waste, it could mean hunger. Cities made the problem sharper. More people lived far from farms, but milk, meat, and fish still carried the same biological deadline. Food poisoning was not always understood, and before modern germ theory spread in the late 19th century, danger often hid inside ordinary meals. You could not see every threat. You could only smell some of them after it was already too late. The first turning point was not the kitchen refrigerator, it was ice as a business. In the early 19th century, especially in New England, workers cut natural ice in winter and shipped it to cities and even across oceans. Ice became a traded product, not just a local accident of weather. By the late 19th century, mechanical refrigeration began moving from experiments into factories, breweries, meatpacking plants, and cold storage warehouses. This mattered because cold stopped being tied only to winter. It could be made, managed, sold, and placed where industry needed it. The real breakthrough was not a box in your home, it was a cold chain beginning to form. By the early 20th century, refrigeration spread through railcars, ships, slaughterhouses, dairies, warehouses, and grocery systems. Meat could travel farther, fruit could arrive from another region, milk could be cooled before it reached the city, fish could move inland without becoming a gamble. But this new world needed more than machines. It needed electricity, repair workers, standards, insulated cars, compressors, factories, fuel wiring, and businesses willing to trust cold as part of their supply chain. Modern food did not become reliable because one invention arrived. It became reliable because many hidden systems learned to hold back decay together. Household refrigerators spread slowly at first because they were expensive, heavy, and tied to electricity. Iceboxes remained common in many homes into the early 20th century, with blocks of ice delivered to the door. After the Second World War, electric refrigerators became ordinary in many American homes. By the mid-20th century, the kitchen began to assume cold storage as normal. That changed your habits. You could shop less often, you could keep milk longer, you could save leftovers, you could buy meat before the day you cooked it. The refrigerator turned time into a household tool. It did not stop food from aging, but it slowed the race enough that daily life could be rearranged. Now you open a door and expect safety, choice, and extra days. You expect strawberries out of season, cold drinks in summer, and a container of yesterday's dinner waiting without drama. You rarely think about the farms, trucks, warehouses, grocery cases, temperature rules, and power lines behind that simple action. The refrigerator also changed your sense of waste. A meal no longer has to be finished because it will not survive the night. Food can wait for you. That expectation is historically strange. For most of history, food was not patient. When you stand in front of a refrigerator, you are standing at the end of a long fight against heat, bacteria, distance, and time. The old struggle has not vanished. A power outage, a broken truck, or a failed cooler can still bring it back quickly. What changed is that the danger moved out of daily attention and into infrastructure you barely notice. For most of history, eating was not just choosing what you wanted. It was a negotiation with spoilage. Modern life feels normal because the struggle has been made quiet.